Well, oh gosh. Well, good morning, guys. We're in New Haven, Connecticut. It's like the Berkshire Travel. I don't know. They call it a truck stop. It ain't much of a truck stop. It's just fuel. But all we have is this one landscape body to deliver today in Kings Park, New York, which is like Long Island. But not a big deal. I'm just gonna prepay. I prepaid for gosh, $200 worth of fuel. Give me enough to get through the rest of the day. So last night didn't turn out being too bad. That hotel was all right. It was quiet, and I ended up getting a good amount of sleep. So I got up at 4. We'll be hopefully at the customer at 8 when they open. Service opens at 7, but I guess like shipping and receiving doesn't get there till 8. So we'll get there as soon as they open and get this delivered. And then we do have a pickup, which I think the broker's being sneaky because it doesn't matter for me. Look at this freaking gas pump's leaking. How many dollars do you think that is dripping on the ground? So for $200, I got 31 gallons. I mean, it'll get me through the day. Make sure I put that fuel cap on that auxiliary tank. Anyways, so I think the broker was being, well, I know the broker was being sneaky because, or they're just clueless. I was like, well, I'm gonna be in the city. I'm gonna be, around Long Island. Maybe I can make some extra money bringing something out of Long Island car-wise. I looked for freight, and I was like, well, maybe car-wise just because of like getting it out of the city. And I found a van, 05 Sienna or something, and it goes to Westminster, which is where I live. And I was like, van to Westminster, I was like, I bet you it's a mobility van, and it goes to FR Conversions, which is a company that deals with conversion vans, which are like mobility vans. And the way I say they're being sneaky, they actually probably weigh like 1,000 more pounds than a regular van, and their clearances are different. For their ground clearance is different, so we'll see. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just being, maybe I'm just overthinking things. So I'm sitting there. I booked the car. The guy was awesome that I booked the car with, so maybe he didn't know. He was really nice. So I get a phone call from the customer who actually has the car, and on my phone it comes up blah 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 mobility, and I'm like, son of a gun, how did I know it? So it'll be all right. That's the only thing we're picking up today, and it's cash on pickup, and it goes right down the road from my house, like right down the road from my house. So it works out pretty good. So for $200, I got 31 gallons. I mean, it'll get me through the day. Make sure I put that fuel cap on that auxiliary tank. Anyways, so I think the broker was being, well, I know the broker was being sneaky because, or they're just clueless. I was like, well, I'm gonna be in the city. I'm gonna be, around Long Island. Maybe I can make some extra money bringing something out of Long Island car-wise. I looked for freight, and I was like, well, maybe car-wise just because of like getting it out of the city. And I found a van, 05 Sienna or something, and it goes to Westminster, which is where I live. And I was like, van to Westminster, I was like, I bet you it's a mobility van, and it goes to FR Conversions, which is a company that deals with conversion vans, which are like mobility vans. And the way I say they're being sneaky, they actually probably weigh like 1,000 more pounds than a regular van, and their clearances are different. For their ground clearance is different, so we'll see. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just being, maybe I'm just overthinking things. So I'm sitting there. I booked the car. The guy was awesome that I booked the car with, so maybe he didn't know. He was really nice. So I get a phone call from the customer who actually has the car, and on my phone it comes up blah 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 mobility, and I'm like, son of a gun, how did I know it? So it'll be all right. That's the only thing we're picking up today, and it's cash on pickup, and it goes right down the road from my house, like right down the road from my house. So it works out pretty good. All right, so we're in New York. Couldn't really tell you where we are, what like portion we're in. I just spent another 20 minutes on the phone with Keep Trucking or Motive since they were bought out or whatever. They switched. So total time on the phone with them, I probably spent about 3 hours total yesterday. Just yesterday on the phone with them trying to get this ELD to work. Now the guy gets me on the phone. Well, the lady gets me on the phone, transfers me. Guy gets on the phone, says your account is still deactivated, which this was the 3-hour process yesterday. So he's like, well, we're escalating it up the chain. The guy who would handle this doesn't come in for another half an hour, so we're gonna currently wait another half an hour to see if we can get this resolved. So I'm definitely switching companies. I can't do it right now. The guy's out on the road. I need to get his ELD fixed. There's no excuse for it. But it's like nobody knows what they're doing. Well, yesterday I was transferred 6 times just to get somebody to say, oh yeah, here, we'll send you this document, which they sent me the bill again, which they already had. It had all the correct information as far as a credit card that gets charged for it once a year for $480. And now, I had to do a DocuSign yesterday. Did that. Okay. Got an email saying, account active. Here's your blah, blah, blah. Here's your welcome letter again. And here we are again with the same issues. It just gets so frustrating. Especially when I'm trying to navigate New York traffic. Trying to help my driver out. And it seems like nobody knows what they're doing. Alright, well, we're on the Long Island Expressway. So up here, when you get close to the city or anywhere near like the New Jersey, New York area, Connecticut has it too. It's just a known thing that trucks and commercial vehicles are allowed on expressways, not parkways. Parkways have low bridges, and you'll see signs everywhere for that. But I wanted to touch base because I usually use Waze just for more updated traffic alerts, police, stop vehicles, things like that. But obviously Waze doesn't have a truck feature, which I wish they would get. That would be absolutely amazing if you could select on their app that you're a commercial vehicle and it routes you accordingly. But I use the app Hammer, which is a free truck routing app. I got myself, down, was at 91 to 95 from Connecticut, or from Massachusetts this morning into Connecticut, now in New York. And once I started to get close, I pulled up the Hammer app and was able to use that for GPS routing from here on out. So we're only about 20 miles out from Kings Park, and thankfully things are going smooth from here. Should be about 5 minutes or so. We'll see if we get a call back from Keep Trucking or not. Trying to keep my patience. Says it's a 40-minute traffic jam. Knew this was gonna happen though, so it is what it is. I think the weather has to play with it here because traffic just came to a stop. GPS updated with a 40-minute traffic jam, so I don't see how people deal with this kind of traffic every single day of their life. You think this person's trying to keep their trunk closed or what? So while we're sitting in traffic, we're trying to get the rest of I kind of know what the rest of this week has to entail, but I am headed to Indianapolis at the beginning of next week for Mika Auto Auction. I have I think it's like a Willys truck, military truck to take out there, from a person who reached out. I don't remember how this gentleman got my information, but anyways, quoted him, and we've been setting this up for a month now because it's got to be there. Then they accept cars like for 3 days, and then the auction's the rest of the week or something like that. So we're gonna pick up Monday and then drop off Tuesday. So I'm trying to schedule around that. Now I found a couple cars on Central, but I was looking to see like the ship date. So I text this guy. I noticed he had a 20% rating on Central, which is terrible. So 4 out of 5 times he's got a negative review. So I'm like, let me see what's going on with this. So he's got a Nissan, some kind of Nissan on there, and it's close to my house, which I would assume is probably at one of the little local auto auctions, an older Nissan. So I text the guy, I'm like, hey, this Nissan Xterra, if it's still available, we can pick up Thursday, Friday, deliver Monday. Today's Wednesday. I was like, but the only issue is if we need payment as soon as the vehicle is on the trailer, on its way there, because of your negative rating. And he responds back, no thanks, I'd like to get it here quicker. And all I said was, good luck. Well, we made it. We're in Kings Park, New York. There's a forklift that's gonna unload us. Just wrapping up straps now. Of course, as soon as we get here, it starts to rain, but once you get farther out here in New York, it's like, you kind of forget you're in New York because you start to get into the countryside. Well, I say countryside, but countryside for out here. Well, now we wait, apparently, for a forklift driver. One thing about these places, they got all these signs, not this door, but the delivery door says like, delivery drivers, do not enter, call this number. The number they give you is the main number for this company, which has multiple locations. So it took me like maybe 10 minutes or so to get somebody at this location on the phone. And I finally get the guy on the phone. I was like, hey, I just got a truck bed delivery here for you. I saw the note on the door to call the main number and let you guys know and send somebody out. He goes, oh, you should have just came in the building. I'm like, a sign says don't do that. Because what happens is I walk in that building, then I get yelled at, and I'm the asshole of the day. Well, I finally found a forklift guy. I had to flag him down. Nobody told him that there was a delivery, of course. And I've been sitting here for half an hour. Got all kinds of stuff up here. At least I'll be able to get turned around back there to get out of here once he gets me unloaded. Alright, well here's our pickup to head home. Have to get our wooden ramps out that I've built to keep on this trailer to help us get this car up on. This thing is going to be converted into some type of mobility van. But this place here that this guy works at or owns, or they build food trucks. So the business is massive now. Bunch of new trucks sitting here. They do all the work, all the kitchen work and everything to them. So we got our inspection done on this. We get our ramps out and get it loaded up. Well, there's Yankee Stadium. So we get to see something in this miserable town. Jesus. Alrighty, next day. Got that van dropped off. Getting some fuel. Look how dirty this truck is. Gonna get that washed up today. We're running local today. Got this 18 foot, I think might be. Just a single aluminum flatbed. 3 straps. Nothing too easy. We're at AT&T in Hagerstown, Maryland, because with mud flap, this is my best deal. to get fuel. I think I'm getting like 20 cents off a gallon here, so take it how we can get it these times. Well, after a short 18-mile trip up the road, we're here to pick up some return boxes. Looks like some toolboxes or something that need to come back to be modified. So to transport these, you got to put these boards on, which they sent along with me pre-drilled. As you can see when you run the straps over this way, because you can't strap over the top of these. Yep, that's how you do it. Got all the boards on there, 2 straps on each. Get our tools cleaned up, and we'll be on the road.